Hello everyone and welcome to Chapter 6. I posted two videos earlier that hopefully you had a chance to go through. The first one, it was a basic overview in between the differences of criminal law and civil law. Remember last time from Chapter 4 in our lectures we went over civil law, items like torts and intentional infliction of emotional distress, etc. and etc. So hopefully you have at least a basic understanding of the differences when I mention what is a civil law action and what is criminal law. Furthermore, we had a second video which was your basic introduction to criminal law. It followed the basic elements of essentially section 2 of chapter 6, so I thought it was a great video to include. For study purposes, I encourage you to make notes of page 139. There's a great graph on there that discusses the difference in between a physical attack as a tort and a physical attack as a criminal action, as a crime. So basically, we're going to move forward now to page 141, section 3 of chapter 6, which discusses the different types of crimes. I'm going to go over a basic overview of the different types of crimes to help you further understand what do we mean when we're talking about a commission of a crime. Remember, in the world of criminal law, when it comes to crimes, we're talking about the government taking action against an individual for breaking a law. So let's talk about section 3, the types of crimes. The book notes, first one is violent crimes. Violent crimes, easy to imagine, we're talking about our big ones. Things like murder, sexual assault, rape, assault, and battery. We saw assault and battery also appeared in our torts, but remember, we're talking about criminal here. But when we're talking about violent crimes, we're talking about acts committed against another person. We also have items like property crimes. Property crimes, you can imagine, are crimes committed against a property. We have burglary. We have arson. Arson is the burning down of a building or structure. Forgery, forging somebody's signature, writing a check and pretending you're the person who the bank account is from. All those items are included in property crimes. Furthermore, we have public order crimes. Public order crimes are your basic ones when we're talking about making gambling illegal in certain areas, prostitution illegal in certain areas, public drunkenness illegal in certain areas. There's various applications of how this works. One thing to keep in mind, a lot of places in the United States, it's actually illegal to gamble. We actually have a lot of casinos here in the state of Florida, funny enough, because of the Indian reservations that we have. The Seminole Indian Reservation is the big one. If you've driven by it, it's actually near our school. We have a huge casino called the Hard Rock Casino. That isn't actually on land that belongs to the state of Florida. That's on land that actually belongs to the Indian reservation, the Seminole Indians. So that's how they allow all the gambling there. White-collar crimes are a big one as well. White-collar crimes deal with crimes in the commission of an act of business. Things like embezzlement, somebody stealing money from their business and hiding it somewhere else. Items like bribery, trying to bribe a judge to make him find a different decision. Also, insider trading. Insider trading, I believe I talked about it a little bit, but insider trading is using business information that you are privy to and then making money off of it. This is extremely complex as to how to describe it, but the perfect case, and I talked about it earlier, but if you use information that you got from your business and then, for example, you sell shares in your business because you know it's going to go bad, sometimes that can be considered insider trading. Sometimes it's good business advice. We'll talk about it in class in between the differences between those two. Last but not least is organized crime. Now, what's the difference between organized crime and white-collar crime? Organized crime deals outside of the business context. We're talking about money that's gained through illegality. We're talking about a drug syndicate. We're talking about prostitution or sex trade ring. It's when somebody's making money off of illegal activities. Where white-collar crimes, it's actually in the context of a business, but the actions they are performing are illegal themselves. It's not so much that the business that they are engaged in is illegal. The perfect page I want you to consider, and we'll go to it real quick, is page 151. This lists out violent crime, property crime, public order crime, white-collar crime, and organized crime, all in a nice, perfect order to help you understand. They give you the definition, and they also give you examples. So that completes our review of Section 3 of Chapter 6.